It's taken a couple of months to get there in amongst the monthly updates for Project Zomboid since the start of the year, but the modding scene is finally starting to look like it's back in full force with both some innovative new creations and updated fan favorites. In this video, I'll be taking a look at a selection of mods from the last couple of months, most of which will be fully usable in multiplayer. A link to a Steam Workshop collection with every mod shown in this video will be down in the description as well. Let's kick things off with a groundbreaking new mod that has brought in a feature the community has been requesting for years now. This is the horse mod, and while it is one of the few mods in this video that only work in single player, I just had to cover it because this is a mod that can completely change the experience you'll have in a Project Zomboid playthrough. Now, RV nomad runs have been a long-term staple in this community for years. Now we have the option of removing the vehicle entirely and instead riding on horseback through a broken world. The horse itself has multiple movement speeds, you can jump over small fences while at a gallop, and you can even kick zombies by the side of your horse using the standard push keybind. Horses require an entirely different kind of maintenance to mechanical vehicles, as you'd probably expect. You'll need to ensure that they are well fed, watered, and much like livestock, protected from the rotten grasp of the undead. The horses in this mod are available in 4 different breeds with 2 color variants for each breed. For players looking to use horses for full loot runs or a full nomad experience, there's equipment available for your noble steed like saddlebags to store loot and saddles to reduce character pain while riding them. Sure, the mod isn't available in multiplayer just yet, and there are a few smaller issues that need to be worked out, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the creators of this mod have brought something to Zomboid that the wider community has been after for a very long time now. Oh, and if you're already wishing medieval Zomboid were a thing now that you've seen horses, well, this next mod takes us one step closer to that very scenario. This is Medieval Z, a mod that brings knightly weapons and armor to Kentucky in all of their glory. Medieval Z contains a whole range of items, including 4 new helmets, over 12 armor pieces, several new weapons like swords, spears, and hammers, decorative clothing like tabards, and even shields for your offhand and sheaths for your swords. Every item in this mod can be crafted in the vanilla crafting menu with the help of 3 recipe magazines that you'll need to find out in the world, and it's completely compatible with multiplayer environments. The armor in Medieval Z is designed to be one step above the highest tier of armor available in vanilla Zomboid, but if I could give you just one piece of advice here, make sure you disable the discomfort modifier in the sandbox settings to get the most out of this mod, or your character is going to get upset fast when wearing a full set of armor. Combine Medieval Z with the horse mod, and all we really need now is a suitably medieval map to play on. Modders, consider this a formal request from me. I would love to be slaying zombies in the hall of an ancient castle or walking through a quaint little thatch roof village on horseback sometime in the not too distant future. So the last mod we looked at in this video is usable in multiplayer, and you've likely already noticed that I'll be displaying whether each mod in this video is currently functional in multiplayer or just single player only at the top corner of the screen during the mod's introduction. Now, if you're looking to play Project Zomboid, mods or otherwise, in a multiplayer setting with your friends, then you need look no further than today's sponsor, Bisect Hosting. Now, having hosted multiplayer servers on Zomboid for years now, the 2 things that matter most are reliability and easy setup. Bisect Hosting offers instant deployment for your server across 21 global locations and 100 different games, as well as scaling RAM allowances that allow for top-notch performance even on larger Zomboid servers when the horde starts building and things get a little crazy. Perhaps most importantly though, Steam Workshop support is fully integrated, so adding mods to your server is a breeze. So if you want to get started in your own brand of Kentucky's favorite apocalypse, click the link in the description and use code MrAtomicDuck for 25% off your first month using Bisect Hosting. Coming up, we've got more multiplayer compatible mods, starting with a new firearms collection named Gael Gunstore. Now, I like to take a look at firearms mods once in a while because I know it's an area of the game that a lot of players enjoy, especially since the vanilla version of Project Zomboid doesn't feature them too heavily. If you want more variety when it comes to firearms, this mod is going to be an easy choice, with over 320 different weapons weapons from vastly different time periods and over 280 attachments to customize them with, including functional suppressors, lasers, and interchangeable magazines. Now, Gael Gunstore doesn't just use context menus when it comes to modifying your zombie killer of choice. It comes with its own customization interface with some fantastic visual representation of the changes that you're making. On the right hand side of this screen, you can see exactly how modifications will affect weapon statistics. Now, I'm by no means a firearms expert, but I feel like this mod would be a fantastic option for players that want to see more guns in the game and some associated mechanics to enhance that experience. Our next mod in today's video is single player only, but absolutely worth mentioning purely because it adds something I don't think I've ever seen in Zomboid before, mods or otherwise. This is the throwing weapons mod, which brings a total of 8 thrown items to the game that can directly take down zombies without drawing as much attention as the currently available explosive options. These weapons of choice include spears, knives, axes, and even throwable sports balls that, while doing no damage to a zombie, are capable of knocking them over. It's also just good fun to bonk them over the head with a football, to be honest. The mod comes complete with a new perk in throwing that can be leveled over time, as well as a new knife thrower occupation choice and a new trait called Steady Arm that will aid in your efforts if you want to give throwing weapons a try. On top of all this, keep an eye out for throwing magazines and books while you're out looting to help give multipliers to your skill gains or provide crafting recipes for thrown weapons. While this mod isn't one that you'll be able to use when playing with your friends, hopefully that's something that comes in the future, and honestly, even if not, it's a great addition to any single player run. We're moving away from weapons next and over to vehicles, a cornerstone of any successful Zomboid run and famously a bit of a grind to level the associated mechanics skill for. Thanks to the mod Better Auto Mechanics though, this experience can be much easier and more intuitive. Better Auto Mechanics is an upgrade of the classic Auto Mechanics mod, now offering batch uninstall so you can remove all of, say, the doors or all of the lights on a vehicle with the click of one button. It also comes with smart XP tracking, so if you're not going to gain XP from dismantling a particular vehicle, the mod will alert you of this so that you're never wasting any time on something that's not worth doing, and it will never perform an action that isn't going to give you XP. Honestly, this is one of those mods that I feel is going to quickly become a must-have for many players and is probably telling of some of the improvements that could be made to the vanilla mechanics skill. Until then though, Better Auto Mechanics has you well covered. Now, while we're on the topic of vehicles, I think it's worth mentioning a mod that has very quickly risen to the top of the Steam Workshop over the last few months, that being realistic dashboard and gauges. As the name suggests, this completely replaces the current UI when driving a vehicle with a highly interactive alternative. You'll find all of the options of the vanilla version with some new additions, allowing you to change the radio station, air conditioning, or roll down a window, all from the dashboard without the need for extra menus. What I particularly like about this mod is that the dashboard is no longer only visible for the driver of a vehicle, but also for anyone riding in the front passenger seat. So if you're playing with friends in a multiplayer environment, they are more than welcome to take the role of passenger princess or road trip DJ while you drive. Another small detail that I very much appreciate is the more that you damage your vehicle, the more this damage is reflected in the UI of the dashboard, with cracks appearing in the glass and the check engine light moving through multiple stages of intensity as it becomes increasingly damaged. If it's realism you're after, this mod is a great complement to any playthrough and is fully compatible with the very popular KI5 car mods. Next up, we're taking a look at a mod on a much smaller scale, but certainly no less useful than the ones highlighted so far in this video. This is Distinguished Bolt Cutters, bringing functionality to an item that is otherwise just a very heavy melee weapon. These new and improved bolt cutters are capable of not only cutting through wire fences to give you new ways to access buildings, but more importantly, they can also cut locks on fence gates and garage doors. No longer will you have to stand there attacking a metal door for what seems like an eternity, building muscle strain only to be met with mediocre loot. Now it's just a case of finding some bolt cutters and making a couple of clicks. There's some additional sandbox settings for this mod in case you want to make some changes, allowing you to adjust the strength level requirement that you need for using bolt cutters, how long the act of cutting actually actually takes and how much muscle strain is generated while doing so. This is one of those mods that's dead simple but incredibly beneficial, and something I'd love to see added to the vanilla game. Now, while we're looking at features that should be brought to the vanilla game, it's a perfect time to take a look at a couple of mods that rework existing mechanics in some new ways. This is Caffeine Makes Sense, and as the name suggests, it attempts to handle fatigue and stimulant items in a more realistic fashion. Right now, in the vanilla version of the game, drinking a coffee or taking caffeine pills simply removes a flat amount of fatigue, making your character less tired for a certain time. With this mod in play, consuming any item containing caffeine will instead start a gradual ramp of energy, which will come to a peak over time and then start to decay. Fatigue will continue to build, but as your caffeine levels also climb, you will be able to remain functional and push forward. Once your caffeine levels start to eventually drop off, that fatigue will catch up with your character and cause its usual negative effects. Taking too much caffeine will cause your character to become tense and jittery, as well as degrading their sleep quality. With this mod in play, fatigue is not just removed as it is in vanilla, instead it is delayed until your caffeine levels start to drop. It's an interesting take on existing mechanics that I think is worth a try. Now, the same creator of Caffeine Makes Sense has also made the mod Armor Makes Sense, which, as you can imagine, reworks the mechanics of armor in a similar way to the modder's outlook on caffeine and fatigue. Now, to understand this mod, first and foremost, it's important to know that discomfort from wearable items is completely removed. Effects on movement and combat speed are assigned by the region of the body that those items are protecting, and heavier armor will also drain endurance while running or fighting. On top of that, the mod attempts to simulate how armor would affect the temperature of the wearer, causing you to overheat quickly in the summer months, but allowing it to also keep you warm in the winter. Gas masks and respirators can reduce airflow, armor can reduce sleep quality, and higher tier crafted armor will, generally speaking, have less downsides than the thrown together alternatives built with scrap metal pieces. If, like myself, you're not a fan of the current discomfort system in vanilla and want to see armor given a better place in Project Zomboid, then this mod is well worth a go. Okay, so next up is a mod that attempts to give weather, seasons, and the time of day a bit more impact by simulating more realistic and immersive lighting conditions. If you're tired of seeing the same day over and over again, the mod Here Goes the Sun will be one to check out for yourself. The most noticeable feature of this mod is the redesigned sunrises and sunsets, coming in different shades based on the time of year and having different transitions based on the currently ongoing weather conditions. Even after the rise of the sun, a winter's day will be washed with grey and icy blue colours, whereas spring and summer will feel much brighter. Sure, this one isn't going to change any major mechanics, but if you're looking for extra levels of immersion, Here Goes the Sun is a great option. One thing I constantly find I'm being asked in the comments of my videos or on my live streams, especially by new players, is how I know which items to take and which ones to leave behind. The easy answer is that with time spent playing, this is something you'll eventually learn, but this next mod can be a great help when you're getting started to speed along that process. This is Item Rarity UI, which takes a similar approach to many RPG titles by highlighting the names of items in different colors, each representing a different level of rarity. I will say I don't think this mod is perfect. It does tag a few items as incredibly rare that I'd maybe disagree with, but overall it is a very useful tool from beginners, and I can almost guarantee that some other modders will pick up this template for other mods in the future that offer clothing, weapons, or item packs. Until then, I'd recommend this mod as a support tool for new players. And speaking of mods that add clothing or other items to the game, I'd like to take a look at Hardwood's Firefighter Finery next, a mod that brings a bit more variety and some visual improvements to firefighter hardware and uniforms. The clothing featured in this mod is a heavy-duty version of the vanilla items, so you'll still find the old stuff that you're used to, but there's new and improved versions also available with their own unique look. New jackets, new pants, even new respirators. To go with this new outfit you'll be wearing, there is also a handful of firefighting equipment that happens to double as some fantastic zombie slaying weaponry. You'll find a heavy-duty fire axe, a Halligan tool, and a couple of other options to fight with. I know this isn't covering a huge array of items like some other mods will, but sometimes it is quality over quantity, and this mod is a great example of just that. Now, one of the very small things about Project Zomboid that has annoyed me for a little while now is the way that coolers just don't have a function in vanilla. Sure, it's cool to stumble across a cooler stocked with beer, but you'd think that you could use the cooler itself to keep food fresh for a bit longer than normal. Well, with Sunshi's cooler system, you'll be able to do just that. While this mod is in play, you can add 1, 2, or 3 cold packs to a cooler, and any food within will be kept fresh for longer. The more cold packs you use, the longer it will keep, up to the maximum of 3. This can be incredibly helpful if you're going out on a loot run and want to keep the food you grab from the local Gigamart fresh until you get back to your safe house with your freezer, or if you're taking an extended road trip and want to make sure that you won't be eating stale food by the time you arrive. The mod is fully compatible with multiplayer, it works great with additional food mods like Vanilla Food Expanded, and it even brings in a crafting recipe so that you can create cold packs at your safe house with materials that you can find while scavenging. It is a well thought out solution for food preservation on the move that just makes sense. Now, very quickly before I wrap up this video, I've got a mod that will help you keep track of all of the updates your existing collection has been through. Sometimes we all suffer from stacking a playthrough with one too many mods and seeing an unexpected update prematurely end a playthrough, or if you run a multiplayer server of your own, sometimes it's just nice to know which mods have had recent updates so that you can keep track of any issues cropping up with your player base. This is where the mod Workshop Update Checker comes in, giving you a handy list of all of your mods that can be accessed on the main menu screen, complete with which ones are currently loaded, their version number, and when they were last updated. If a mod is updated while you are playing, you'll also be given a handy in-game notification that an update is available to download. There's no performance impact with this mod in play, it's incredibly lightweight and will help those of you subscribed to hundreds of mods keep track of incoming updates. So that's it for all of the mods in today's video, but we've gone ahead and collected them into a workshop collection linked down in the description for easy access. If there's any other mods that I or anyone watching this needs to check out in the future, then please do let me know down in the comments below. I wanted to say one last thank you to Bisect Hosting for sponsoring this video, and again, you can purchase a Zomboid server with them using my link down in the description, then use code MrAtomicDuck for 25% off your first month. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, and I will see you all in the next one.